So today, we are going to take a nice, quiet wee look at this quaint little comic shop here. While we do, a very intense and interesting firefight will be going on near us. It has explosions, and vertibirds, and death, and action. All that good shit. And we shall be ignoring it. Instead, we shall look at this place, Hubris Comics, with some poor dead raider right outside of it, suggesting shenanigans inside. It's located on one of the most densely packed areas in Boston, right next to Vault 114. Let's take a gander. So this is Hubris Comics, a comic brand we are familiar with, going back all the way to Fallout 3 and the Capital Wasteland. As you can see, a bastard symbols monkey is here to greet us at the entrance. Apart from being very creepy, it also alerts the numerous amounts of ghouls in this building to our presence. So yeah, double bastard symbols monkey, I guess. We can also find the corpse of a raider among the comic stands here, likely an unfortunate victim of the ghouls. Bones can be found near them, and other bones can be found at various points inside this room. This suggests that some of the people who were here died instead of becoming ghouls, though more on that later. In this room, we can also find a display of the Silver Shroud, and much of the story in this building revolves around pre-war happenings with this character. To the left of the display, we can move behind the counter and find the weapon of the legendary Grognak the Barbarian himself. Absent? Yeah, so I was here before and picked it up, and I don't know where I put it. Maybe withdrawn? I may have dropped it to lose some weight. Sorry. Anywho, let's take a look at this terminal here. The group of entries that we are interested in are under order tracking. The first is called August Pre-Orders. It seems that Grognak is by far the most popular comic. Tales from the Front is likely only popular due to the war with China. Can't imagine it would be that great otherwise. Vault-Tec is pretty fucking typical. Manta Man reminds me of Aquaman, which explains why it's not popular. The next entry are the September pre-orders. Manta Man is definitely meant to be Aquaman, and is pretty shit. So much so that no one is picking them up, and they want to stop stocking them as a result. It's in this entry that we hear of the Silver Shroud first. Lastly is new subscribers. Seems that they need more subscribers, likely meaning that the company is falling on bad times. Or at least they seem to be. Look at that. Someone is gonna buy some Manta Man. No clue what the hell iDog is, although I have a few ideas. Looking about the rest of the counter here, we find a hand that seems to be in the process of stocking the register. Not sure how someone could have done this after the war, you know, given the ghouls, so maybe this is part of the scattered skeleton we may have found among the displays. Behind the counter, to the right, is a door that someone appears to have been trying to pick at some point. Inside is the safe that the terminal unlocks, as well as this body, old enough that it could be pre-war, given the fact that the door was locked up tight until recently. Or at least it's older than the current raiders / scavengers, who can't be more than a few days to weeks old. It looks like they were sleeping or something in here, and then they eventually died. Or perhaps they got stuck in here when they went scavenging. At the back of this room, we can find a Jangles the Moon Monkey, well, on the drink. And from the looks of it, definitely into that sort of thing. Also to be found in here is a scavenger's body. That is gone now. Also some hands in the sink for the usual strange reasons that they are in this game. A note can be found on the scavenger's body. The note is called Scavenger's Note. Shocker. Seems that some kind of a collector hired them to go in here and take a look around. From the looks of it, it did not end well, and they seem to have thought it was bullshit from the start. Now if we go around the corner from the bathroom, opposite the stairs, we find an older body, this one with a weapon, and another note, called the Scavenger's List. This one is a little more comprehensive. They wanted to get the axe and some comic books, expecting some to still be in decent condition. Now they also wanted into the storeroom, and they say someone called Ken Standish would be perfect for the job. I think he was, and managed to get in, and then locked it when the ghouls came for him. He then died in their line on the shelves. Poor lad. The monkey clearly fucked them as well. Now time to head up to the next floor. It's here where a lot of the ghouls can be found. Just chilling, crawling on desks, etc. A wall is knocked in and there are various holes in the floor, likely from age. Since they are all still here, and given the amount of desks, I think these are the former employees, turned ghouls after the bombs hit. Makes sense, given how close they are to where the bombs hit. Now, to take a look at another terminal, the one in this room off to the left, from the desks. It belonged to Vivian Odell, and the first entry is dated from the 11th of October, 2077. The email is from Tina Hopkins. So apparently, the Silver Shroud was given an English butler in a new script they're working on. So, Alfred, I guess. Someone called Babowski added it, and she is not pleased. The next entry is from the 15th of the same month. They are debating if gingers have souls. Just kidding, they don't. It seems they are changing the hair colour of an iconic character, the Mistress of Mystery, and Tina does not like it. Also, it appears they went for the breathy damsel voice that no one likes, instead of the confident one she had before. As someone who knows how important voices are, not cool. She wants Shannon Rivers, the voice of the Mistress of Mystery, to act her as well, and apparently she looks the part. She threatens to walk if they go through with the change. Also not cool. The last one, from the 16th, is from Aaron Babowski, if that is how you pronounce his last name. The a-hole making all these changes she hates. He tells Vivian it's no big deal and a wig will suffice, which is not really the point at all. Face made for radio? What a cheeky cunt. They're only doing it for the romance scenes, for God's sake. Where's the art? He then says he can get some spoon in from Hollywood to replace Tina, so it seems she's likely a writer of some sorts. He then tells Vivian that he can only meet at 8, which is a bit ridiculous, asking someone to stick around that long. Arsehole. So some drama was occurring back then, mostly around the casting choices for the Mistress of Mystery. Tina wanted the experienced Shannon Rivers. Aaron wanted some young bimbo called Claire. Fuck 'em both. The kitchen located to the right of that office is pretty wrecked, likely courtesy of the ghouls. The plunger looks safe enough, which means it's waiting for us to let our guard down. Bastard. We can find Jet in one of the toilets, so someone could have been using it pre-war, as the ghouls are unlikely to have done so. Ghouls make better life choices than that. A room can be found down the hall from the kitchen, on the left. It has some pretty heavy-duty computing equipment in it, the likes we usually find in laboratories or government facilities. Right now, we don't know what they could be using it for, but we do get some idea later. On the opposite side of the room full of desks, we come to this one. It looks like props or memorabilia were kept here. We can even find a signed picture from the Silver Shroud himself. I am fangirling so hard right now. So this next floor, well, it's wrecked. It's almost as if a bomb hit it. Huh? We joke? Ah, fuck you. This room here looks like it could have been a room for writing or concept drawing, with previous issues of comics being kept in the corner. Likely the main purpose was for brainstorming and such. The room further in, to the right of the stairs, looks like a meeting room. It was likely here that all the bad decisions were made, as management anywhere rarely has a clue what to do. Keep in mind the idiocy from the nearby vault could have bled into this building. Now back to where we came onto this floor, heading to the door originally on our right. It seems that this was another room where all the staff got sardined together. Definitely great for morale. The person at this desk appears to have been a smoker. All that the cigarettes are still here though, I mean it has been a century or more. It is here that we can also find another terminal, this one belonging to Tina herself. The first entry is from the 11th of October, 2077. It's the reply from Vivian. She is trying to placate Tina, saying it's unlikely they can get rid of the butler. Aaron is meant to be the TV guy, and he knows what the people want. Bullshit. She wants Tina to just bear with it for now. Cue this not ending well. The next entry is from the 15th. Once again, a reply to the earlier email we seen. Vivian says she will stand by Shannon and fight for her right to stay. She even cancels her honeymoon. She seems like a good person. Lastly is an entry on the 20th, from Aaron. Yeah, he is a patronising dickhead throughout it, and you can be assured of that. He's chasing her for some lines and says they don't need to be great, just passable. He clearly has a great amount of respect for the work he does. Now, I had to do a double take here. They have a fucking monkey, for some reason, and people like it even more than Claire. He also says she doesn't like the wig, and they need to lose it. Shannon apparently stood in for Claire, but they want her gone when she gets back. Now that to me, anyway, just seems like a slap in the fucking face. So Aaron has definitely thrown oil on the fire. English butler and a monkey? we weren't too far from Monkey Butler there, I tell you. At that point, well, your show is just awful. So Aaron was going to ruin everything. Tina seems to have had it up to here with his shit. You can't see my hand, but it's pretty far above my head. The doorway with on air beside it leads to the last floor, so it's the room opposite that which we are going to head into. So the room is wrecked, and we have this chap on the right. It appears they drank a shitload, based on the numerous bottles of beer about the place. The skeleton tells us they have been here quite some time, maybe decades, maybe centuries. Now you may think that it's Aaron, as his terminal is here, but I think this was another member of the old scavenging team. The duffel bag beside them, not to mention the open safe, makes it likely. They must have drank themselves to death, or perhaps they were already dying when they got stuck in here. Now, the terminal. Entry 1 is from the 14th of October, 2077. It seems that someone else, another agency or company, is trying to poach Claire. She still wants to do the show, but she's also been approached with other offers. She's currently in another contract, and there doesn't seem to be a way out. It's likely the other contract was the film she was still shooting while she was doing the Hubris project. It's clear they are trying to manipulate her, so they are still assholes. Entry 2 is from the 15th, the next day. It seems this was when Vivian first tried to convince him not to change the casting from Shannon to Claire, citing that Shannon has been doing it for years and is beloved by many of the fans. She wants to talk to him before she leaves on the honeymoon we now know she cancels. The third entry is from the 18th. It's from someone called Peter. It seems he is in charge, and he helped to convince Aaron that the Mistress of Mystery needed to be a brunette, so his head isn't completely up his own ass. They are going to try and dub over Claire with Shannon's voice, which I'm sure won't look awful at all. The last entry is on the 20th. Tina had enough of the shit and just quit. Good on her. Apparently she already has other options available to her, so it's not like she was going to be broke. All this because Aaron was being an asshole. Lastly is the script for what appears to be the pilot episode of the Silver Shroud. Now I considered reading this out, but I thought that would be a little too much. Maybe next time. From what we can see, this was called Death Becomes You, and it seems that it was the 10th draft. The writing isn't great, I have to say, but it appears to be in the vein of those old superhero shows, like the old Batman and Robins. Cheesy, but only looking back now. What is clear is the Shroud is a fucking murderer. I mean, he literally kills people with a gun. So, yeah. Also, those catchphrases and one-liners are just inexcusable. Given that it was all going pear-shaped at the end, I could believe an argument that it is Aaron on the couch. Everything was ruined and he decided to get blackout drunk on the Friday. Come Saturday morning, still passed out, the bombs went off and he died in his sleep. Now I still think it was likely a member of the scavenger party, but I can see how it could happen. The last floor appears to be where they shot the show, or at least where they tried to. Over to the left, behind the stairs, we can find a repurposed women's toilet. At least I think it's a women's toilet. Turned into a dressing room. So not the most luxurious of settings to change in, if I'm honest. But at least they have somewhere to shit. Opposite that, we can find a Grognak the Barbarian costume in these lockers. And it's literally just underwear that looks like a bin bag. Don't wear that. Have a bit of self-respect. Not sure why there is a Deathclaw gauntlet here. I don't remember leaving it here. The actual Silver Shroud costume can be found in this mannequin here. Watch as I attempt to zoom out and show you, and instead throw a grenade like a fucking pillock. My brain just stopped working as I was recording. The costume isn't bad and is actually pretty decent if you upgrade it. Around the back of the fake skyline, you can get his gun. All of this is needed in relation to a quest about the Shroud. A quest we may touch on one day. Last thing to look at is in the control booth here. A lot more equipment similar to what we saw downstairs can be found here, suggesting similar work was done there. The terminal gives you control of various things, such as the lighting, which goes from normal to looks like it's going to give someone an epileptic fit, and the sound, which goes from creepy to the Silver Shroud's theme song, which is still pretty bad. Cameras are all offline, and that's about it. So this was Hubris Comics, similar to what we covered in Fallout 3, yet different. In it, we hear the story of two groups of scavengers. The more recent ones were torn apart, it seems, dead just outside the building, and at various points inside. They did not get very far. The first group seems to have gotten further. We found one of them in the elevator, dead from a last stand. We found one in the storeroom, likely the Ken Standish the list talked about. They got in, but they couldn't get out. Lastly, the body in Aaron's office was likely a member as well, given that the rest of the employees from that time seemed to be ghouls. This was where the Silver Shroud TV show was being shot. One of the writers, Tina Hopkins, raised various complaints about changes to the show to Vivian O'Dell, the most vocal of which was replacing Shannon Rivers, who voiced the Mistress of Mystery, a character in the Silver Shroud, with some woman called Claire Riddell. Apparently, the character Claire was portraying was nothing like the actual Mistress, and Tina wanted that sorted. She eventually quit, having had enough of Aaron Babowski's shit, who was responsible for these changes. The show was never made, as it appears to have only really entered production proper just before the bombs hit. All the staff seems to have been here when that happened, based on the number of ghouls and their locations in the building. The story of the Shroud is not over, and we shall look at it one day. For now, the story of how Aaron likely ruined the TV portrayal of a popular character is. An old comic book store, and the story of those who worked there. I hope you liked this look at all of it. If you did like it, give the video a like, and if you want regular updates, subscribe. Any suggestions for lore or future videos should be left in the comments below. Better yet, go onto my subreddit so we can discuss them in more detail. It's linked in the description. If you wish to, you can support me on Patreon. £1 or $1, I ask for no more. Any rewards you would like to see there that I don't have, message me and I will take a look. Follow me on Twitter or Facebook to get regular updates, or have a wee chat. Any business you wish to discuss, email me at thenthapple.business@gmail.com and I will get back to you as soon as possible. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. And until then, goodbye.